All right, you guys ready?
I was
Yeah.
born ready.
Excellent. All right, welcome back to another episode of All Chat. This time we have a guest. We're back with guests, and we've got Astini who's going to be joining us. Welcome, Astini. Thank you for coming on the show.
Hello, it's a pleasure to be here.
We're gonna talk to you, but first, I actually have a question for Aydin to start the episode. Something I think everybody wants to know, wants to talk about. Of course, recent events. What I'm referring to is when is the Hawk finally going to join Liquid to fix your team?
I was wondering the same thing.
He already fixed us during PGL Wallachia. I don't know if you guys noticed.
Oh shit! What happened?
But yeah,
What happened?
Blitz wasn't there, so we hired the Hawk to fix all of our problems, and it took him literally 2 seconds, as he claimed. He came
spoke in
into
the language of
Discord.
facts.
He spoke in the language of facts, said a lot of base things, and believe it or not, our problems are like magically gone. And now we're back to P.
Damn, that's crazy. I mean, I can't believe the
Yeah,
Hawk was
thank you,
able
the
to
Hawk.
manage all that. I'm surprised you guys were able to put aside your egos and actually listen to him.
I mean, when someone speaks the language of facts, shut the fuck up and listen. Simply put.
All right, Astini, we had you on. You were actually suggested as a guest, and I already kind of had you in my head. And I reached out to you before I even saw the Twitter interaction between you and Aydin.
Really?
I
really?
was
That's really
like,
funny.
It's
somebody
just a
said we should have
coincidence.
Astini on. I was like, oh, that's a great idea. He's a very opinionated person, has a lot to say, and he said a lot about the recent matchmaking change. So I'm sure he'd be a great guest. And then I reached out to you, and then afterwards I saw the so what happened between you and Aydin?
Should I start?
Sure.
Because I feel like I'm the immature one here, so I should start.
Whoever.
All right.
Cool.
So I woke up this morning, and I felt under attack. I felt that my team and I and us, we were under attack, and I did not know what had happened or what this was based on. And in a moment of weakness, I made an emotional tweet because I consider me and Astini friends. We've known each other for a very long time. Like, I was like shocked. I was like, why? Why? Like, what happened? We're homies. So I was like a little bit emotional, and I like a little bit too quickly sent a tweet that was a little bit too aggro. And if I could go back in time, I would have just sent a DM and done it the mature way. But the Dota scene enjoys drama, and I think this is among the milder ones. But yeah, no, I mean, basically, as far as I understood it, there was like some comments about some of my teammates playing on Smurf accounts, and how that is like an unfair advantage in the professional scene. And while I think smurfing is bad, and I personally stopped doing it as soon as Valve said don't do it, I do think some of my teammates smurfing to some degree, not fully, is defensible.
Okay, real quickly, what's funny about this is that it's very big of you to step up and say you were a little emotional. Your brand makes it so that when you made that tweet, I just thought you were kind of memeing. I just thought you were memeing around.
I was like
there was
somewhat
anything to
memeing,
it.
but not like fully. It was like a
Sure.
like it was like a joke with like a little bit of like, hey bro, what's going on? Like I thought we were homies.
Yeah.
We beefing
Okay.
or what? Yeah.
All right, so you guys hashed it out in DMs?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I think I got to say, like, I mean, the main thing I wanted to say, and I will like repeat myself to be very clear, that smurfing, not good. Don't do it. I don't do it. All right. In Nisha's case, particularly, this is what I will say to his defense. Again, shouldn't do it, but this is what I'll say to his main account is like 5k MMR because he just has not played on it for so long. So when this like ban came out, I know he started playing on his main a little bit, but it was just so low MMR. So he switched to this account, which I believe was like always higher. If I know it, I'm not like 100% sure, but at least like in recent like times, I would say the past. How long has the Smurf ban been? Like 6 months or something. This has been his highest rated account, and it's kind of publicly known that it is him. So I feel like he is technically playing on his main to like that, and there's no like secret Smurf that he plays on, as far as I know.
So you're saying you love Smurfing and that everyone should Smurf to be like Nisha?
God damn it!
That is what I
That's gonna
heard.
be the conclusion.
Ay, 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 ay.
Oh wait, so his like 5K account or whatever, is that from his secret days? Because he's got a separate account that he played on Team Secret for, and he's got this
I mean,
account that
I
he
know
plays on
the.
Liquid for.
Okay, I'm not like an expert on niche accounts because I'm sure there's like a billion of them somewhere from the distant past.
Uh-huh.
But the one he plays officials with us on is not that high rated. It's a
Mm.
different account than he used on Secret to play officials, I think.
Okay,
Like
so
I'm
this
not
is
I'm not an expert
Smurf
on
number
niche
3.
accounts.
There's his OG account, his secret account, and his liquid account, and that's the Smurfs that we know of.
I mean, I'm sure there's like 17 more of them out there because he has
He's
like
got at least 4 more. But
probably
the
like I just don't know about them. All I know is like the account that he played with us on for officials. Because after the Smurf fan came out, we were like, "Yo, Nishi, you should play on your main account," and he did do it for a little bit. But the account was like just so incredibly low rated that I think he switched to this other one. And then he's played on this one like consistently since then. And he even made like some joke when he started playing on it, like because I think when the Smurf ban came out originally, like apparently like Western pro players were not getting banned, but Eastern pro players were until Yatoro started like losing it, and he would like flame people for smurfing in his game. And then like Western pro players started getting banned too. And then Nish
Oh,
was like,
really?
as long as I don't queue into the Yatoro, I'm like safe. But no, as far as I know, he's been playing on that account for the entire time, and I don't feel like he gives us a competitive edge because that's the account he plays on, and it is very publicly known to be. So I
It was
don't
also on
really
Pro
feel like it's
Tracker.
like, yeah, that's what I mean. It was on Pro Tracker. People kind of know it's him. It's not really like, as far as I know, again, that he plays on a different.
uh,
That's the one I've seen him on it.
I am not a Smurf expert, but I did see comments. A lot of people said Mickey also Smurfs or did Smurf. Does
I
he?
mean,
Do you know about that?
I think same thing for Mick, as far as I know. I mean, he's a little bit more of a gray area because I've seen him like switch between his main and his like second account,
Mm-hmm.
and they're both like really high rated. I think one of them's like 13K and the other one's 14K. But I do remember he switches. But I think like for the past 2 months, I haven't seen him like play Dota, so I don't know. Like if there's like a third hidden account, I don't know about it.
Okay.
So
For the
but
audience,
in Mick's yeah.
you go ahead.
In Mick's case, like I just have not seen him play pop for like the
Okay.
past.
So what led to this conversation? For anybody who doesn't know, there was a recent change that Valve put in for the Immortal draft. That is something that people have complained for a very, very long time about. And Valve finally did put in a change. They didn't take it out, but they made it so it only applies to players who are above 8,500 MMR, which they said is the top 0.5% of players. So a very small pool of players is going to have to suffer Immortal draft. They also made some changes to that Immortal draft where you get an official name, and that official name, I assume, is supposed to be used for the entirety of the game. Though I believe currently it doesn't work for like the draft, which would be the
Yeah, it
most
doesn't work for the
important
draft.
part.
The draft is super annoying right now. The drafters, it shows who they are, but the people being picked, it just says whatever the heck their Steam name is. So it's unreal annoying.
Yeah. So that is obviously an oversight because obviously the intention is there to make it so that you know who you're picking and all that sort of thing. And then they said they also changed the way that MMR gain loss works, but I don't know the details of that. And they also made it so that supposedly you cannot get access to players' data for all of these games that they're playing. So the biggest site that everybody uses, Dota 2 Pro Tracker, is supposedly not going to have access to data anymore to keep everybody up to date on what the pros are doing in their pubs when it comes to heroes and the item builds. And that has provoked a lot of discussion about that. Astini, so you do like this?
If it really works, I really
Mm.
like, but you cannot trust that it will fully work. Because I think, like, for example, Pro Tracker, for like 10 hours, they were not getting any data from the pubs, from rankeds. But then they started showing the heroes that they were playing, but not the build. So
Yeah,
no
it's still like
items.
that.
And then they actually managed to show items without timings. And just like maybe 1 hour ago, they posted that now they cannot do anything back to not doing anything again. So now you can only live spectate if you're friends with someone. Otherwise, you cannot watch anymore. They just removed from the watch tab. It's like
Oh,
pretty new.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That
You
is
can
pretty
sell the
crazy.
slots on your friend list now to the to the bots that are gonna try to get all this data.
Huh.
I mean, the watch tab thing is crazy. I think it literally just happened, but that one is, I
Yeah.
think, kind of sad because I feel like, I mean, I don't know if we're like a case, but our team like probably watches pubs more than anyone, and a lot of the reason why I think like we pub a lot less is because we spend a lot of time like watching pubs. And for example, when we played finals at Wallachia, Nisha had watched like NTS play like a bunch of Tinker pubs. So even though he hadn't played it, he had a really good idea of how the hero should be played based on that. So uh, it's kind of sad to see that gone because I think it was like a kind of cool feature that you could like watch players and get ideas. At least I found it to be cool and a nice way to like learn things and for knowledge to spread and for the overall like get better. But on the other hand, I do think maybe like the pro tracker changes could be interesting.
Yeah, this is with no spectating, that's crazy to me. Like I think I like the idea of more information being hidden and like there being more like people having to come up with more stuff on their own, like there being less instant copying, less like giga access to win rate, stuff like that. Like for the pro scene, I think that's like there's something cool and like alluring about that. But not being able to spectate is like it's weird to just like hide away a chunk of the player base in like this little alcove where no one can see them. Like that's just it's a weird concept to me.
So I feel like most of the argument that has come down, most of the community was very much against this initially because the fact that a lot of people use Dota 2 Pro Tracker, they want to be able to follow the pros and follow what item builds they do and copy that, and be able to bring it into their own games to raise their MMR. You know, like they're doing the research and they want to get better at the game, and that is a primary way to be able to do so. And I feel like the other side of the argument is mostly about player privacy and whether or not players deserve privacy in playing pubs and practicing, particularly if you are going to tackle the Smurf problem and say you're not allowed to Smurf. If you're forcing pro players to play on their main account, then I do think there is some expectation of privacy and being able to play games without, you know, everybody spying on you, basically.
And this Dota TV thing is just too fresh to have like opinion on it. But now that I see it, I'm not like as excited as I was before about the change, you know? Because like the idea of the change is amazing, but then the guy at ProTracker or any website just figure out a way to bypass what Valve did. And then Valve like removes another feature so they cannot bypass, and like what's next? You know, what they removing next? Because right now I can watch someone live if I'm friends with. Maybe they figure out a way to watch those matches, and then I cannot watch like the players of my team playing. Then it's just too weird, you know. So let's see how, where it ends up. Because when I read the news, I was excited because you can like practice ideas. You actually get some value out of being the guy that has the idea. Because I feel right now it's so easy. Let's say you're position 5. You open pro trackers like, oh, Jakiro has 55% win rate, Warlock 54, A 53, Disruptor 52. Oh, I'm playing those heroes. Oh, but I had this amazing idea about techies when I read patch, but the hero has 42. You're like, fuck this hero. Oh, but you love techies so much, you want to try it? Go ahead. It's going to take you like 10 matches to figure out a build to be the guy that like came up with techies, and Tech is now an amazing hero. Then everyone just watches 2 of our games and they figure out what to do. And then like you spend half of the time that you had to prepare to create one hero that everyone can copy with way less time than you did. And very likely they are banning it against you. And also they are stealing the hero against you. So sometimes the guy that creates an idea, he don't get to play the idea. It's insane in this sense.
Aydin, you guys quite known for stealing, copying other team strategies, taking them as to your own. That was like one of the big strengths of Liquid. Do you feel like this hurts you guys?
I mean, not really, because I think our stealing starts when the tournament starts. As, as is pretty
Yeah.
publicly known, we're not playing enough pubs to be like ahead of the curve, you know?
Yeah.
And I think our ceiling is like peaking at top 6. So in that term, I don't really think so. But to Astini's point, I would say like for me this was very relatable because I think like in recent times nobody was really playing Tinker, but I was, and I kind of had to put in like a shit ton of reps to get like the hero to work for me because I just had this idea that Tinker's probably good, and then I was just grinding it to like figure out how to make it happen. And then like I think we played it against Spirit in Dream League as like a test run for us because we were like essentially knocked out already, and it worked. And we're like, okay, hype, we have this Tinker thing. And then by the time like the next tournament begins, literally everyone has like a Tinker player that's like ready to like send it, you know? And then the hero just ends up like perma. So like I really I understand your point and I kind of see it. And I think in that way, the idea of this change is interesting. So yeah.
We had
And
a
it's
similar
also
thing with Lone Druid at TI where we were like this Lone Druid carry, like I don't know, like Celery somehow created this Lone Druid carry from like his pubs because he loves playing Lone Druid carry. And then we're like, we tell Anton, yo, this card might be broken. You should play it some. And then Anton plays it in some pubs. We've played it in 0 officials at this point, 0. And we go into our series against Nouns at TI, and it is first banned both games. We're like, we've never even played it. We've never played it, and it's banned. Are you kidding me? Like, this is unreal.
And then at the end, like what would be cool is like the guy that played Lone Druid for the first time on an official is the guy like, oh, look how smart this guy is. Look what amazing idea this guy just had. And then everyone is looking at this replay, like watching and learning. And then actually like it pays off to be the guy that created the idea. Because now, like probably at TI they create the idea and other teams looking, so Lone Druid's broken. And then they're playing against another team, they're like, we're gonna first pick it to steal. And then you actually see your opponent getting, let's say, the props for creating a strategy that actually you did. It's weird feeling.
I guess the one thing I have to say about this though is it sounds like to me the Dota scene has gotten so good at copying and stealing this sort of thing that like yeah you might be able to hold it off until you play that one tournament game, but then you play that one tournament game, doesn't it just automatically spread like wildfire?
Yeah, you just get a little bit more lag, I think. I think that's like essentially the biggest benefit is there's like a little bit more lag in this stuff. And I think there's like apart from heroes, there's slightly different stuff as well. Like for instance, in the past, you like in a world where you could see what heroes people were playing still, like I check my friend list, I see Netta's playing Darkseer every game, right? Like I can't watch the games. I know he's playing Darkseer. I don't know what he's buying, and I don't know like if he's cutting waves, if he's stacking camps. He probably is because he's Netta. But like like in theory, I I don't know like the specifics of what he's doing, if he's doing laning tricks, whatever stuff like this. And that stuff is like harder to copy initially and takes like more time. So I think for like more gameplay related stuff, replays are being removed like adds like slightly more lag or like warding tendencies or I don't know, does the guy mid block the wave a lot or whatever crap like this, right? Like you can't just gather that information that quickly.
Now this is a buff to creativity, I guess, and the players who come up with ideas and are the first originators of these sort of things. But doesn't this also like kill the peak that people are able to get? Isn't like part of the fact that you have access to so much information, so much stats about this sort of thing? Doesn't that just make everybody better at the game? And isn't that something that is its own pro?
I mean, I can say from my
Potentially.
perspective, like in Han, everything was public, right? I didn't mention Han on the last podcast, and some people made comments about it, so I need to bring it up. But in Han, even scrims were public. Like everything was public, right?
Yeah.
You could not play like secret games at all. Nothing. Everything was public. And I think in some ways, like scrims public sounds like insane. But I think like having even pubs per, I feel like the main thing here is when you gatekeep information, there is like it prevents the scene as a whole from getting better. I think you're gonna create if you keep the system over the course of like next 5 years, I think you're gonna create a bigger gap between like the best of the best and the others. I think a big reason why like Puppy Kuro were so successful for so many years when there wasn't that much information around on how the game should be played, is because people like couldn't decipher what they were doing and like learn from it fast enough.
Yeah.
Whereas nowadays, like I think you're seeing less of a gap between the like top teams and like these new up and coming players that are able to catch up. I think is because like information is accessible and the people that want to put in the time and try to figure out and learn, there's just infinite information out there. But where you want to draw that line, like to, you know, do we want everything to be public? Do we want nothing to be public? What should be public? What shouldn't be? I think that is like maybe something worth like discussing. I mean, I even saw like Amar joking about like selling his replays now, and I know we got contacted by like some high MMR like players that are like, hey, I can be your spy in pubs and like look at what people are playing and tell you like, oh, Ducalis is queuing, Disruptor every game. He played 10 games of it that I saw, or like, we already have people that have contacted Liquid about this, and I'm like, I'm sure there's like some sort of market that you're now creating,
Yeah.
where I think people are gonna get past these hurdles. It's just not gonna be fair anymore. It's gonna be some teams that are gonna have access to it and others, and I think that benefits like the top end more than the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay, my answer on this first, I need to say I'm biased towards Dota 2 being the best game ever. So every time I see a change, even if it's bad, I'm like, let's look at the bright side. So in my mind, the game will get better because I think everyone just got, I don't know, lazy is not the right word. Maybe I lack like English knowledge to say what I really want to mean. But everyone just looks at Pro Tracker. That's a good thing. That's what I'm gonna do, and you don't do more research than this. And then everyone is just looking for the game on the same perspective. So there's like this analogy of like the Rubik cube where you have like 6 sides. There's like everyone is looking at the same side and saying, I swear this cube is blue. But if you look from other sides, it actually can be yellow, it can be red, it can be anything. But everyone just playing the game on the same way. And then feels like everyone got better because everyone has the same understand of the game. And in my opinion, that's not good. I enjoyed the times where you have like majors and you would expect like SA teams to play completely different from European teams that would play completely different from Chinese teams. Sure, in SA we always lost, we keep losing. But at least SA teams would play their own style because they were trying different things because they were on a different server. So they had like different ranked experience. Now everyone plays Europe anyway, but like everyone accesses the same Dota Pro Tracker to find which hero they're playing. So it feels like we're just like exploring 30% of what the game really offers to us right now.
I think that's fair enough. That it's like maybe an equal amount of effort is being used, but before it was on optimization of an idea of strategy and that sort of thing, and now more effort is going to be put into creativity and trying to discover new things. I think that's I like personally I like the idea, but I can see why some people were pretty against it. The community in
Yeah.
particular. I saw even some people like Sheep Six said this is the worst change they've ever made. I think Nahaz got on back onto Dota just to say
I
that
did
as
see
well.
Nahaz tweet. That was so funny.
I mean,
I
you are
was
the
like,
stats guy.
No,
You don't have
no.
more stats.
So what did Nahaz say? I didn't.
I guess that's true.
I-
He just
backed
bandwagon on what
Sheep
Alex
Six
said.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, I guess
Okay,
that's true.
but
If you're a stats guy, this is the hell on earth.
You know my favorite part of this I
Mm.
feel like a lot of casters and panelists are going to be exposed as frauds
Mm.
very, very quickly. Because I feel like, I don't know if this is, and again, I'm friends with most of you guys, that's why I feel comfortable saying this. But like most of the casters and panelists, they kind of just go on Pro Tracker 20 minutes before they go on the stream, and then they just say whatever they see there. Oh, Ducalis is a really good disruptor because he has 15 games of it the last week. And that's all they know. I'm really curious to see.
Yeah, okay, you're making that. That's not quite
Am
accurate.
I wrong?
It's
Okay.
not quite accurate.
How
I'll
is it
tell you
then?
as a caster, I see a
Mhm.
hero. I see a player pick a hero. I don't do Pro Tracker, and then I go down. Oh, this is what their item build's going to be. It's a
I'll
there's a
tell-
little bit
Yeah.
more finesse to it. 5% more.
Okay. Okay.
Like personal experience. I was invited to this Lima major. Was
Mhm.
the first major that I was there to cast. And I guess like literally first match I got. It was Beast Coast against any team. and I've been drafting against Beast Coast for the last 7 years of my life. Now, not anymore, but I was in SA. And then I see Batrider, and I start hyping up Dark Mago Batrider. Then other analyst tells me, no, Dark Mago does not play Batrider. And then I'm like, I don't know. We kind of changed the topic, and then I look at the notes. It's like which heroes he played like on DPC, and he didn't play Batrider. It was first phase ban literally every game, and he had no pubs with a hero recently, but like the offlaner had. So it's like for sure it's the offlaner playing Batrider, and like he literally most played hero. But
Yeah.
I see they have like this Spectral and Pro Tracker printed, and that's all. Some
Yeah.
will be exposed. That's what I can tell. And again, I'm good friends with most of them. I respect, and I actually think like this person that was doing this, if was trying to learn on a different way, would have like a better opinion and like better comments. But again, everyone is looking from the same perspective that everyone looks smart right now, because everyone looks at the same data and everyone just repeats the same thing, and it feels like everyone is aligned and everyone's a genius thinking the same thing, when no one is actually like using their brains to make conclusions.
Yeah, there was definitely, I feel like it was a lot more hype back in the day at some point in time. Analysts were also worse back then, but like it
Yeah.
was more hype when they would call an upcoming hero pick, because it happened a lot less because they were worse, but also because like they didn't know what the pros were practicing leading right up into that match, right? And
Yeah.
nowadays, yeah, you could definitely like see some guys playing Void Spirit mid. Shout out to
I
Quinn and
wish.
Void Spirit's dog shit win rate. But he was playing 3 games of Void Spirit before the match today. Like, there's a decent chance you can call that out as a potential last pick, and you're right. You look like a genius as a result. Yeah, definitely going to make talent and talent lives harder, especially panelists. Casters, I think it's pretty whatever. But all right.
I was gonna say it doesn't mean that the quality is gonna be lower. Oh, we have less info. Maybe it gets better because you have like 4 or 5 different perspectives. Like everyone on panel is gonna actually have an opinion that they did their own research on different ways, and then you have different opinions. That's I think like analysis was way better in the past in this sense, because you had
I mean,
this type of analyst that like, oh, I met this guy just walking by and he mentioned this about the hero. Cool, it's a way of learning the hero. The other guy's like, oh, I just played a ranked with this hero, so that's my feeling. The other guy's like, oh, I watch Paparazzi playing this hero, so that's my take. And then you have 3 different takes. So yeah.
I mean, I think it is like in terms of like for broadcast, I think it'll be more exciting for viewers too, right? Because you don't know what
Yeah.
people are gonna do until the tournament begins. You have less information. I think as a spectator as well, like if you want to do what you did in the past, which is like copy the pros, you now kind of have to watch the official stream or the official game, and like
Yeah.
same thing for panelists. I think if you want to sound smart and if you want to like have a good idea, you're actually gonna have to watch like a lot of games, and you're gonna have to. It's like the discussion will probably
But
like
now they need to
develop
be
through the
friends with
meta.
the player to do so.
No, but I mean like during the event, because I feel
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
you won't come into the event knowing like these are the broken heroes, these are the heroes we're gonna see. You're absolutely not gonna see these heroes. Like you don't know it from scratch. You're gonna figure it out as the tournament goes on, because like yeah,
Yeah.
analysts nowadays obviously they're like a lot smarter or smart. Um, they will figure these things out as they watch the games, but it'll be like the narrative. I think this is like I guess a little bit of Astini's point, which I agree with. But like it will develop with the event, and that is exciting. It is like it's going to be exciting watching pro games because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what the best idea is. You're not going to just like watch the second round of group stage and be like, oh yeah, gaming gladiators play all the meta heroes. They're going to win this event, and it's just that easy. And like, oh, Liquid don't, so they are going to be ass.
Yeah.
I
Or
think that's like
like
kind
when
of the
Faceless
excitement.
Void gets picked up, right? You don't know that it's actually an offlaner or a support when it gets
Yeah.
picked. You're like, oh shit, they're picking carry Void. I didn't even know that was a thing. And then you get to the player picking situation. They holy fuck, they're doing offlane Faceless Void. That's sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also like it's more important than the tournament. It's not like, I don't know, imagine you want to go to a concert, but you can hear the rehearsals every day. And then you just watch rehearsals every single day. And then when is the concert? It's like, oh, I just listened to this thing like 10 times. Like, I don't really care. Maybe I watch. I don't know. So it's more special. It's as it should be, because you're a professional player. You should play competitive Dota like at tournaments. and you practice at ranked. So you're developing the things that you're gonna be ready to show at the tournament. But people are watching before you're ready to show it, and then they lose the interest because like, oh, I already had enough of what I want to see here. So I think it will hype more tournaments. And as we said, like you don't have replays anymore, but you have replays of the tournaments. And then I think like people are gonna like Google more about the tournament. They're gonna search on YouTube, on any video streaming platform. They're gonna search more about the tournament. And this for Dota 2 means for every algorithm is like suggesting Dota 2 to more people. So I think it's some marketing. Let me copy on that. We're doing marketing for Dota 2.
Maybe some content creators, actually put in custom effort to like talk about a new hero pick and a new role or something, and they actually break it down rather than what is a large part of the YouTube landscape, from what I've seen, is that it is thumbnail about player and hero combination, and then you click on the video and it's
Say
just
it. Say
it's
it.
just a full replay. It's just a full replay from their perspective, right?
But say the player that it is.
I mean, it's Miracle.
It's Miracle. It's Miracle.
Ah!
It's Miracle. And he's
Yeah.
playing Invoker.
I mean,
Oh
I've
my
seen some
goodness.
Quins in there. Obviously, Yatoro, that's a big one.
Mine only shows Miracle.
Well, that's because you only click on Miracle stuff. So you've been stuck in the
Curated.
same YouTube swirl for the last 10 years,
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
heard
did,
people ask like, what happens with this content creator? I don't think this guy that just uploads a replay is a content creator. He's
No.
a content recorder. The guy that's
Nah,
creating the
that's some
content
slop.
is the guy that actually played the game. Maybe if you do some analysis and show some specific point, you're a content creator about the replay. But those guys are just like recording other people content and publishing.
Yeah.
So if you want to record your gameplay, you do your live stream, and then you get money for yourself playing, not someone just recorded you.
Yeah, I'm glad that crap's gone. That stuff is like cringe. There was some channel that only uploaded my VODs and like, or my pub. They just uploaded every pub I played. I saw the YouTube channels like, is this my channel? And I check, it's not. But they only upload my games. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, this is not me, you weirdo. Like, you're gonna post like some questionable material and people are gonna think it's me. Like, this is insane. But I did want to circle back to one thing Aydin briefly mentioned and Cap also did, that like I do think that there's one potential negative of this, that is I do think the overall quality of gameplay will go down. Like okay, it'll never go down, but it will increase at a slower rate than it did the last like 5 years since more data has existed. Because what Aiden is saying about like Puppy and Kuro is true. Like those guys had all the good info, and it took like forever for the info to get disseminated outwards because those guys needed to break apart into different teams who then told their teammates, who then told their teammates, and it like reverse pyramid, like it pyramid schemed outwards, and like everyone else in the world could learn about like the good ideas. Because the beginning it was just those two guys, and then it just heckin',
Yeah,
and then it
the
spread
number
out.
of guys who are former teammates of Puppy or Kuro and then became like a coach or coached
Yeah.
that team and then were able to coach other teams, and like used principles that they learned from that original team. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like every single player that has like had success eventually like came in some way from Secret and like the EG teams or whatever. And so I think there is like danger there, because I think like part of what has made Dota so cool is like you look at Team Spirit, right? It's one of like everyone's favorite teams. They came from nothing, all of those guys, during COVID era, like when statistics first started and whenever it first, like that's around when it first started changing, is Spirit going from ashes. None of them have played with any of like the big dogs. None of them have the Kuro Puppy knowledge, and they just built from the ground up, right? And I think maybe enough information has been disseminated outwards now, like it's been long enough that it's okay. But I do think you run somewhat of a risk that you go back to an era where it was really hard for a Spirit or something like that to exist because they just don't have any info and they're just getting beat over the head with an information bat over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, my hope is that there is enough understanding of Dota in general from like
Yeah.
those eras, right? Like 10 years ago, 12, 15 years ago, like the understanding of Dota and how to play the game. I feel like we've gotten to a point where people understood only like 60% of Dota, and then at some point 90% of Dota. Now I feel like we understand like 95% of Dota. Like people have just like optimized the game so quickly that there's not much left. So maybe that, the stats won't really make that much of a gap difference, especially if people are already like there's already enough of a foundation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's very possible. That's true. It's just something that like it is an argument, and I don't
Yeah.
know, like I don't know if it's true or not. We'll have to watch it bear out.
I
Yeah,
think
I
for
feel like a lot.
tournaments,
Sorry.
go on.
No, you go.
We have a problem.
Let's take it to
Okay,
Twitter, man.
I'll say I think for tournaments like competitive, it will be a bit better because you have way more tournaments now. Like you have LAN events like every single day, so now you have more chance of learning. But I'm really afraid for the ranked matchmaking, which already was really bad. And now maybe there's like 2, 3 players trying to figure out something during the match. They have no clue what to build, and they will just full grief. And then there's this guy that has everything figured out. He's gonna be like smurfing the match. So it's already hard to get like a good match on matchmaking. It might be even harder in the sense.
Yeah, did you guys want to keep Immortal Draft out of curiosity?
Like,
Or
at all?
would you have preferred if that announcement was like, yeah, we're just taking Immortal Draft out. We're going back to the old matchmaking system.
I think it's basically the same thing.
No, is it? I feel like the picking players thing is pretty nice.
I mean,
Is it not?
sort of. Like the
I
thing
saw-
is like if there's a guy that you hate in this lobby and people know you hate him, right? This happens all the time where somebody says, "Pick me with this guy," and I'm AFK. Okay, well if you then now it's a coin flip. Does the guy
Yeah.
on that team have last pick or not? Right? So so like, and that's what it is when you queue up before, right? It was a coin flip whether you ended up with the guy you hated or not. But it still is because does the guy who he's his team on, does he have last pick? Right? Because otherwise he's gonna force you onto that team because it's an auto win. So it's like to me, it's the same thing.
I mean, I saw an idea that I thought was like pretty smart, and it was like when the queue pops, instead of loading 10 players, why don't you load like 15?
Oh, you're
So
talking about
that,
the one that
like-
Slacks tried to.
Was that Slacks?
Yeah,
I mean,
Slacks
okay, then never
actually tried
mind.
to
But
say this is a good idea. Valve should do this. I was like,
no, I thought it sounded good. I didn't give it
Yeah.
much thought, and if it was Slacks that wrote it, I need to like question this a little bit more. But I was like, that kind of does sound smart because I feel like, I mean, I don't know if it's specifically, but I would imagine most like high ranked players, they would rather play their role than like forced to play other roles. And if you do this, then the chances of people getting like picked for their roles and stuff like, and I think if there's like a large disparity in MMR or something, like those players won't get picked. You know what I mean?
Yeah. To be
'Cause I
clear,
feel like
Slacks did not come up with this idea. He just tweeted about the Reddit thread.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
But I was like, that
I
seems
love
like
this.
kind of smart to me because I also
Yeah.
like, let's say I don't know if this is the case for people that are actually high ranked or if it's just bots like me that are like the mid range. But I will like queue because I see a lot of high ranked players queue, and then I'll just like not queue into their game, and I'm like sad. And then I'm playing like a very low average game, and then I check their games, and I see like a lot of low average players in their game, and I feel like the chances of these lobbies being made would probably like decrease if more players popped in queue. And then if you're kind of like an asshole, people just won't pick you.
Sure.
And if you like ruin a lot, you just won't get picked. And then like that is like quite a big punishment already. And
that
with
would
the
be
official name change,
nice.
yeah, and like
Yeah.
everyone has an official name now, right? So like you're kind of accountable for your actions in pubs in a way that you
Yeah,
weren't
you're
before.
just not gonna be allowed to play because no one, like
Yeah,
anyone
and
who
that's
knows who
like
you are is not gonna play with you.
right. That's natural selection in many ways.
Yeah,
Wanna
no,
play Dota?
I
Don't
literally
be a-
want to use that word. Oh my
Yeah.
god. The natural selections, Darwinism. Like
Yeah.
because I've seen this happen in house leagues. Like I played a lot in the past, like Dota 1 even, and you had this like a challenge option. You actually like challenge a player, and everyone can join for like 3 minutes. And sometimes you had like 30 people join. Sometimes you had 10. And let's say the bad ones, they would be left out, and the
Mhm.
toxic ones also left out. So it's like you need to
Wow.
learn to behave better. Like eventually people will pick you because like maybe you try like no one is picking you. Try to play like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. So like they have no choice. They will play with you, and then you show you actually a good player, good behavior, and then you start like grinding up on being selected more. So it's like natural selection. It's actually good.
Well, except for in the case of the NA Dota leagues, where like the most
Yeah, I was
popular
gonna
players
say.
were the toxic ones, so then you only had the toxic players picking other toxic players. But yeah, I mean, I think at a larger pool of general matchmaking, yeah, I do think it would trend that way more for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess the downside would be longer queue times. Just harder to find 20 players than it is to find 10.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
Um,
clicks and things like that also come into play, and it like you can have like say the high MR players. Say this guy's not even a jerk. Like some guy that's in the pool, that's in the lobby. He's not, but like the high MR group of people just don't like it for whatever reason. You know, he's not so he never gets picked. He keeps queuing, keeps not getting into the games because the group of friends or whatever who's top 50 like just don't pick this guy because they don't like it. You know,
Or I
like
mean, or what Aiden's talking about, right? He wanted to be in that high MMR game with a bunch of other pro players, right? If he did get into that setup, are they going to take rank 500 Joe Schmo, or are they going to take rank 500 Insania? They're going to take rank 500 Insania, right? So
yeah, but then the idea would be that you then pop into another queue, right? Because 5 out of the people from the game didn't get picked, and now most likely you're the highest ranked next lobby.
sure,
Is what I had in.
yeah, but that guy,
And then
still the point, that guy doesn't get to experience the playing with top 10 players as much, right? That he would with a
yeah, but
normal
that would be
matchmaking
based on like,
experience.
okay, so let's say like in this case, I have a I mean, I don't know why we're talking about me, but like whoever this pro player that's getting picked has like a reputation, right? He's earned the right to be picked in some way, like either by being a good player or like proving his worth in some way. You know, like I don't feel like that's necessarily like something wrong.
Yeah, I
Is
mean,
it? Because I feel
mean,
like you've kind of earned it at that point. Like, do I
I just
want
think
Quinn on my team or do I want rank 500 mid laner? Well, I want Quinn. And that's like kind of fair, I feel.
like I think this just goes back to the in-house stuff, which like my experience with in-houses was at a certain point it gets kind of stale because you can only like you have the same group of players and you end up running the same game essentially like over and over again with like one or two people swapped out, and it starts to feel like Groundhog Day and gets kind of boring. And I also think that Valve probably wouldn't instate this because they've never done it where matchmaking sweeps from rank 1 upward. Like this doesn't happen, right? It's like interspersed with ranks. They've never had it just sweep straight. Like I get higher more games like 1 out of 20 games where everyone is top 100. Like it doesn't happen. And clearly that's not just RNG, right? I see people in my friends list queuing that are high MMR. Valve has intentionally made it to where it picks people from like slightly different MMR like groupings or whatever. That's for whatever reason what they think is good. And so I think it's very like because I've asked them a million times to make matchmaking pick up high MMR players that are all queuing and put them in the game, and they won't do it. So it makes me think they will never do this because for some reason they think it's good to have things interspersed.
yeah, I mean,
So,
I could definitely see there's some logic behind it. Either way, I do think for the draft idea, by the way, the Reddit thing was you would take 12 players, so it wouldn't be like a huge
yeah.
pool of players, which I think is the right amount. You just the one or two dudes, if one dude's toxic, that guy gets left out. I think that's fair enough. I think you
But
wouldn't want
wouldn't
a
it be
pool that's
nicer
like
with 15?
I think I think you start getting to the in-house thing that Quinn's talking about.
I
where-
agree. I actually think 12 feels better to me.
Yeah. But I mean, either way, I guess it doesn't matter if we're us
Yeah.
talking about it. If Valve's never going to institute it, so
Who knows? Maybe this podcast convinces them.
yeah. Well, I feel like we're too much on the same page here. Like I liked all the Immortal draft changes, and I saw the community like hardcore, hating on it, and I was like, oh shit, maybe you guys will have some
I
different
mean, to
answers.
me, it's like
but no.
mostly just speculation, right? This isn't something at least that has been done, as far as I know.
Sure.
Like, I don't feel like I know what's gonna happen. I don't know what the outcome's gonna be.
Yo,
But
all I'm
it
asking is
is
like
something else.
don't drop me off your friends list, please.
Oh yeah, that was
I
another
want to
thing I
watch these
thought of.
games, man. I
Yeah, I
want
was
to
Hold up,
wondering.
hold up. So do you guys remember, like back in the day, OG used to like remove everyone
Yes,
from their
yes,
friends list
before TI.
before
Yes,
TI? I wonder if that's gonna be a thing again, or if it's
It
like
might be.
you're good, or you just try to add everyone so that you're like, I'll show you mine if you show me yours. You know, like.
Yo, you know who's coming back? You know who's coming back? Boba. Boba, dude, that guy, the Whispers Master, man. He's got his little birdies everywhere. He's got connections all over the place, man. He's gonna be able to have access to every replay.
Yeah, but I just don't know what the tech is. Like, do you remove everyone or do you add everyone? Or do you only remove people if you have something good and you add people if you have nothing? Like Astini said, like if you're creative, you like remove everyone. You're like,
Nine
I'm
class
cooking
told
right
he
now.
deleted his friend list
Who
because
did?
he's the guy that's 9 class.
Okay,
He's
okay.
like creating
Really?
strategies all the time
Yeah.
and people copying. Like, and he just like to create a strategy. He plays like 15 games with same hero in a row. So you look at his pro tracker. Usually has like only 3 heroes played in like 40 matches, and it's just like I'm deleting guys because like I don't want to them to steal my ideas.
Yeah. That's...
And as a coach, I'm omega sad because why you guys want to have a coach added? No way. This guy's just gonna draft against me, and he plays like low quality pubs. I don't want to see this guy playing. Like I lost all my friends.
That's true.
Sad.
All right.
It
Well,
is
I haven't
interesting
decided yet.
dynamic.
Anything else you guys want to say on this Immortal draft change or anything related to it?
I guess just to give some credence to Alex's point or like the Redditor sentiment, which I think is reasonable. Of like, it's nice as a low MR player to be able to look at high MR games and see like, oh, these are item builds and skill builds that are good on this hero, and this hero is good. I can play that in my games. Like that's nice and convenient, and I can totally see from their perspective this change feels heckin' trash because now they don't have access to that anymore. They're in the dark, right? And they have to fumble around like they were before, and to have information and then have it stripped away feels really bad. So I like get the perspective they're coming from. Like I mean, I don't experience it personally, but like it makes sense. And I don't think they're like insane or something, or like that's just the wrong take. Like for them, that is the right take because it's relevant to them, right? All this professional stuff doesn't really matter. They'll watch some pro games and maybe it's 5% more enjoyable, but like they don't really care, right? So
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah, they just think how it affects them, right? And it's like, oh, I grind MMR by watching pros and doing the same thing. But they should also think that the opponents also did. So now it's still even. Like they didn't lose like advantage that they had. Like
that's
That's
also
true.
potentially
Look-
true, yeah.
But don't you
Also,
think,
how
like,
much
some
are they
people-
getting out of watching professional player 15,000 MMR versus like high pub player who's like 10K or whatever,
It gets
8K
clapped.
when you're playing at a 2K level? Like I do kind of question if you're actually like how much you get out of that. You know what I mean?
I think it like if you go to Dota Buff and you just see like the Dota Buff guides, there's like a 10k MMR, 8k, 6k, whatever. It's already very useful to a guy that's playing 2k, 3k, 4k. Like even if you're like playing 6k and there's this guy that's like 1000 Tinker matches and he's playing Tinker at 6k, you watch him, you're gonna learn a lot of things. It doesn't need to be like that fresh build from Yatoro that just dropped. It might not even be the best build. He might be trying something and you think like it's incredible and he's just like laughing like how insane is my idea right now.
I mean, I kind of agree. I think like you don't, if you're like a MMR player and you're getting smurfed on in your game, I'm pretty sure that smurf is not 15k MMR. It's some
Yeah.
guy that's like 6k MMR, and to you he looks like Dota Jesus, and you don't have a chance. So watching his replays is like, or like stealing his ideas or whatever is like good enough. It doesn't have to be like best of the best copy.
And not even like pro tracker suggestions are like heroes that are good against the heroes that are picked on the high level games. And people are actually like picking different heroes on low level games. For example, like I
Yeah.
see way less Zoo being picked in low bracket matches. So let's say low bracket, I'd say like Silencer is way better than in high bracket. So maybe the guy was actually playing Silencer, like, oh, I'm winning so much, I'm so good, and they see, but no pros play Silencer, I must be wrong. Let me try to play Chen.
Yeah. I mean, the creativity thing, I mean, I kind of agree. I think it will open up a bit. I just wonder if like, I mean, I was also gonna say, I think this thing isn't like black and white, right? It's not like Valve can't like reverse some of it if they realize like it. But maybe there's like a happier medium between like where it was and where it should be, where you get creativity, but you also have like the information threading at a decent rate.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. A lot of speculation.
Anything else you guys want to say on it? I assume
Like
that's
on
it.
the point that he just said, like, I want to feel, let's say, when the tournament ends, I want to feel like I have as much info as I had in the past or even more. And I think it's still going to happen. I'm not like, oh, the information is not going to be there. I just think there's a delay on it. And it's a fair delay. And it's a delay that actually like gives the prize to the guy that figure out first. And then everyone gets to figure out together a bit later. And then it's fun because like everyone is like evolving their gameplay, everyone's learning, the game's getting more and more interesting, but at least you get some prize for trying things out and creating things.
Astini, you have been around the scene for a very long time. You were actually, I think, in some ways, you were one of the first, like, you were actually one of the first coaches. You've been around for a really long time coaching teams, right?
Yes and no, because I think like I'd say like I'm one of the first that is just a coach, but like there have been coaches since TI1.
Sure,
And
sure.
I started like at TI7 when you actually like had a slot for SA for the first time. But I guess I might be like the first guy that's like not a former pro player that became a coach.
Yeah, sorry,
Maybe.
that's what I meant.
Maybe that's
Alongside,
the thing.
like CY for Quinn, for example. You know, like
Yeah.
high MMR player, never actually pro player, but coach, right? Because CY, I don't think he played on any teams, at least not any teams that I know of, right?
No, he played on like Danish stacks and stuff,
Yeah.
but never any like competitive teams.
All right, so you have been around for a really long time coaching teams. Do you feel like, where do you feel like your breakthrough happened? Was it for Entity? Do you feel like that was your breakout into tier 1, or was it one of the teams before that when you were coaching more of the South American teams?
I can tell like personally when I felt like I knew a lot about the game and when actually I got results.
Mm.
So there's 2 times that I felt like I knew a lot about the game. One was when they created Outposts long time ago.
Like
And then I just
Leipzig
watched.
major.
It was like we played Book of El Minor. We qualified for it. I don't remember which was the major that was the qualifier. It's
Okay, I think
2019.
Is that the
Nice.
ski resort one?
Was that one
Bukovel?
Outposts were first? I
I
thought
think
Outposts
that
were
was this.
Leipzig.
I think that's around the time any major.
So you were coaching
wrong.
Furia.
Yes, because
Okay.
like I watched every single match from the Chinese matches, like literally every single match, and I keep looking at the minimap. I don't look at anything else, heroes, and then I find patterns. I come to my team and I tell guys, just follow those patterns. We're gonna win, no matter what. And we were terrible. And I'm not like flaming my players. Like they said on interviews, like I have no clue how I made to like a DPC event. Like I don't know, like a LAN event. Like I had no clue what I was doing. My coach told like do this stupid thing, and it's gonna work. This is like where I felt like, but I was just stealing ideas as we're talking now, right? I didn't come up with anything. And second time is like Bali Major, because I watched like all the games from the previous Dream League, like literally every single game, and also like I recognize all the patterns in the map, and like I'm like, finally I understand about waves. Like finally in my life, like I feel bad about the guy I was before. This guy had no clue about Dota 2, about how waves work. This guy's like so dumb. But thanks God, I know something now about Dota 2. And then I feel like, oh, now I understand waves. Now things can work. And yeah, the other things just like results coming from like having people more on the same page, having people that like trust each other ideas, having people that are motivated. Like many times you have in a team a guy that it feels like he doesn't want to play Dota 2. It happens more commonly than people think. Way more common. Like way more common. Like if you have like
I
know,
agree.
you have 16 teams playing like a LAN event, maybe like 5 to 10 out of those teams have at least one player that he does not want to play the Dota 2 game. He does not. So it's so hard to win when you have one of those guys in your team. It just creates so many issues. So it's not only about like knowing the game, understanding what's going on. It's about like having 5 players with the same mindset on a good timing to win tournaments.
I can only imagine how hard it would be to have a team with more than one guy. Maybe in like a full team who doesn't want to play Dota.
What are you trying to say, Cap?
I wasn't saying anything.
What are you trying to say,
You're
Cap?
the one who took the bait.
Do I need to tweet at you too, or what? What's going on?
I could have been
Cap.
referring to Quinn's team. He had just had
No.
Celery. Duraccio just retired. Celery just, he just dropped out of Game of Gladiators.
But you weren't
They didn't
referring
wanna
to
play-
his
they
team.
didn't wanna play
You were
Dota.
not referring to
I
his
could
team.
have
You
been
don't know
referring to
that.
them, though.
I do know that. I
You should
know
talk
who
to your
you were
therapist
referring
about
to.
this, Aiden. You've got some real bad self-talk here. I think you need to.
All right, so
Ay.
legitimately though, Aid, you want to speak on that because people
Not
have
in
long,
particular.
people have
Well, sure.
long since talked about, oh, Nisha doesn't play any pubs, blah blah blah. Right? You guys have had Matumba Man who was like, I'm fucking done. I don't want to play this shit anymore, and just like get me to
Yep.
the fucking finish line. You guys played with Zai. He got the same point, right? Where he got
Yep.
to the same point where he was just like, I'm done. This is it. I'm over it. What
I mean,
is
it's
that
gonna
like?
sound like, I don't know, ironic from me, but like I feel like our team. I agree with Astini. I know exactly what he means, but our team is in that state like 11 out of 12 months of the year, and rarely is it only one person. I would say like whoever the new guy on our team is usually motivated, and then the four of us like that are just here, we like take turn on being like the guy he described, and usually it's more than one person. I would say outside of like Ti and that is at that in that, which is really tough, and I think it makes it a lot harder for everyone on the team. And I think that the times that we do play really well and things do come together is when people are usually motivated at the same time. I fully agree with like the statement, but as far as our team, I don't really know what to say. It's just kind of it is what it is, and we learn it from our coach because that man does not do work. Blitz Dota, that is.
I mean,
And I think like this issue for me was stronger because in SA it's contagious. Because like people in SA they're more emotional. Like in Brazilians, Peruvians, Europeans they're more rational. Brazilians they're more emotional. So if there's one guy that's like doesn't want to play Dota, everyone around is gonna feel the same thing out of this guy, and they're gonna be frustrated. And then you have like shitty environment. That's the thing. So now I'm in another region. Maybe that's why things are going better, but it's really hard. Yeah.
I mean, Quinn, you just had Celery obviously seemed burnt out. Duraccio is not playing Dota anymore, so obviously he was burnt out to some extent. And I feel like if I had to make a judgment, you're somebody who needs people. I mean, you said it before. You need to be playing Dota nonstop when you're playing professionally, right? Like you can't take any time off for you to maintain your play, right?
I become trash really quick,
Yeah.
really quick. Yeah, I mean, it's apparent now that Anton and Sully were both experiencing burnout. I think, I mean, I don't want to speak for them because I don't know like the details of it, but you can see it in your teammates whenever they don't care quite the same amount. Maybe they still care and they're still trying, but 100% and 90% and like 85%, like it's hard. Like you can feel it, but like it's hard to like pinpoint it really. I know there were points for me where I wasn't giving 100% or whatever too. Like I think at the beginning of this year, to be honest, like I was trying, but I was in a bit of a weird head state and like just wasn't like feeling that good in general. Like I was playing unreal trash at the beginning of this year. I was like my lowest MR like ever, or my lowest rank like ever, I think, in like the last like 10 years or something. So I ranked like 120 or something at this point. At some point, I've never been this rank ever. Like for me, like I mean,
Don't laugh at me,
whatever,
Cap,
like,
you bitch.
they can be low rank and win, but I can't, and like I think that showed.
I'm just looking at
Explain to the viewers.
You've
Explain
ever
to your
been
viewers.
rank 120.
Explain to the viewers why you looked at me and laughed, Cap.
Well, you were making a face. You had a reaction to it. That's not on me. If you didn't make a reaction to it, I wouldn't have laughed.
Okay, Cap was literally thinking Aydin dreams he was at MMR, that rank.
I was not thinking.
That he definitely was.
You've
Astini
been
saw it
very
too.
high rank.
It's like 500 years. There were dinosaurs on this planet the last time I had a high rank.
Listen, I can make these jokes because I recently, me and Avery did power rankings for each role, and you should
Oh yeah,
know you were in my top 3 for 5 positions. So,
you're high.
all right. I mean,
Smoke less.
we actually agreed that there's only 4 people that can go on the list of top 3 for 5 positions
Okay,
right now. So,
we can discuss this after Quinn finishes the point that we hijacked.
all right. Sorry. Keep going, Quinn.
I don't really remember what I was saying, to be honest. But that's fine. It wasn't that important anyway. I mean, just that I get it, and I think like it's true. A lot of teams do go through this. I actually hadn't thought about it. Like I was kind of just sitting there thinking about it, to be honest. But I think it's pretty like what Aiden said. Like things turn up for them like during that 1 month of the year where like they're all like really in zone. And I think like I resonate with that there's a feeling when everyone is trying really hard and giving their all, like you can tell and you can like feel it in the room that like everyone is like really cares. And whenever it's like that, like it's crazy how much better you play and how easy the games feel and everything just like clicks and you're just winning and you can just trust people that they're going to do the right thing. Like you only need to focus on yourself and everyone is automatically doing their own stuff. Like the feeling difference is crazy. Like it's such an ethereal, ephemeral thing. um but it's so true because when one guy is giving 95%, maybe you don't like fully really understand what's happening at the moment, but like when you look back on it, it's like, oh yeah, this guy was griefing, whether that be me or whoever, right? And it's just it's funny, like it's funny how true it is.
So I imagine as a coach, it's hard to get everybody, pushing everybody to be at that 100%, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm listening and I'm like mentally apologizing to Quinn because I flamed him to his teammate. Because I've seen people like everyone was flaming Watson, everyone, and I just
Mm.
I love Watson. He's such a great guy. And I told bro, your mid laner, he's not playing well. When he goes back to his peak, then you guys gonna win tournaments. And now he says he was playing real bad. At least like I feel like I wasn't that wrong. I shouldn't have said this, apologies. But like I was feeling bad for Watson. Like I love this guy. And I hope you guys get like on good shape. I want to see eventually you guys winning tournaments. That's how the scene is, right? Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
No, I mean Watson joined a team of bots for sure. Like he got full heckin' grief. He thought he was joining some boss second place TI team, but he was joining like some ramshackle group of hooligans. So yeah, we're working on it.
We gave Saber the same experience, so yeah.
Yeah, and it's weird because then everyone looks from outside. Oh, Saber is the problem. Watson's the problem. But like, as Queen said, sometimes you just like click. You can enter the room and tell like, oh, this is a team that can win tournaments. Like everyone's like feeling their best, and sometimes you're just not feeling it. And I guess like especially like after TI, both of you guys weren't like feeling so much because like you gave like your full best till TI, and now like your body goes like on kind of like rest mode. Like I cannot be 100% all the time. Like you kind of like fall down a bit till you recover again.
Yeah.
On that topic, Aiden, how back are you guys? You guys won a
We are
tournament?
so not back.
Okay.
We are like
I didn't want to
the
be too
least-
insulting,
the
but
least amount of back you could imagine us being. I feel like
I was going to ask
it
you
was
if your tournament was more like just kind of a spurt luck sort of thing, or if you were actually like a monster team. Because we just recorded an episode, and we recorded that episode, you talked about the downs of being like at the bottom as a team, right? We talked about
Yeah.
all that, and then like a week later, you win a tournament. And I was like, did they make a change that quickly that all of a sudden they went from 0 to 100? Like I kind of doubt that.
I mean, I thought I already explained this part, but the hack
Mhm.
came in and he said very basic things. Spoke the language of truth, and we were like,
yeah.
dude, he literally took 2 seconds to fix our team. But no, on a serious note, I mean, we were all really trying for, like, we genuinely were trying, but I think this is the part that's like hard to understand as someone that isn't. If you're not in this world, you won't be able to grasp it. But like, you can be trying your best, but if you don't have the desire to actually be good, you just won't be. You could be trying like you're putting in like what you think is your 100%, but it's really just 80% of what you're like capable of when you're motivated, when you really want to do the work, and all that. And I think for whatever reason, and like go look at our pro trackers or whatever. I don't know if you can do it anymore, but like Mickey still wasn't playing pubs. Like it's not like for whatever reason, at least, like we swapped drafters. I can just say from inside the team, I feel like Mickey was like a changed man. I think the burden of drafting was quite heavy for him, and I think it affected him quite a lot in terms of his mood. And in many ways, I think he's like the heart of our team, where he's like, the guy that's sailing like nice when we get kills, and like, he just like gives good energy.
Yeah.
And I think that was kind of gone while he was drafting. So when Niche took on that role a bit more, I think that gave Mickey more space to like turn to that guy a bit, which helped a lot during the event. I think, especially when you're like in a downturn, having like someone hype it up, the rest of us can push it forward together. It was really good. And then I think just naturally for Team Liquid, whoever is drafting you cares more. So usually you want whoever cares the least draft, and that makes them like a lot more involved in everything. At least I can say this has been true more than one time, and I think for this event, it really got Nisha like motivated. And I mean, I don't know if this is too much into detail, but like for example, during our scrims, let's just say people tend to watch streams, like have a side conversation with William about Taylor Swift during the draft. Like this is like normal behavior. William will
Classic.
just be in the room and say like the most random things during the draft until like last pick, and then he'll be like, ban Lycan, pick Void Spirit, and everyone will be like, William, no, and then we do something else. But like that's like, and then he's like, I'm trying, I'm contributing. You guys want from But yeah, when Nisha was drafting, it was none of that. Like if someone's like talking about some random stuff, he's like, focus on draft. And he will like after one day of doing the job, he's like, I don't want to draft anymore. You guys are not trying your and he's usually the one like not really,
Yeah.
fully
Yeah.
zoned in on it.
The class clown had to be the teacher for a day, and he didn't like it so much, huh?
Yeah, something like that. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it's always the case, but like,
Sure.
with all of our dips, ups and downs, like people are more or less motivated. I do it sometimes. I was like playing Guild Wars during draft, whatever. Everyone on our team is guilty except maybe like Saber, Nara. Yeah, I think pretty much everybody else guilty at some point. So I think that really helped. However, we now have box draft for this next coming tournament, and I can say our scrim drafts have been. So I do
You
not
cut
think
out there.
we are
which
back.
was
Cut out what
pretty
word
Our
did you
drafts
say?
have
You
been
cut it.
interesting. Interesting.
Ah.
Oh,
Interesting.
okay. Because it looked like you said something else.
What did it look like? Is that?
Oh, I mean, it kind of. I just assumed that you said dog shit. So.
No, they've been interesting. All right, we've been doing things that has. Astini wants creativity. There's been creativity in our script. All right.
So
And let's
much
just say
creativity sometimes.
a lot. No, a lot of creativity. Like, I can't leak, but heroes being played in places that you would not expect to be played in. And that's not all of our games, but it's been quite exciting. So, for those of you guys that don't know, Boxy is like a little bit of a hero hipster.
Yes.
And I think when he's in the position to make other people hero hipsters, interesting thing unfold.
Well, maybe
yeah.
you guys will figure out something really cool for the next tournament. But I guess my biggest burning question is, what does this mean long term for Liquid? Because Nisha was obviously done after that. Like he that post tournament interview, he was like,
it feels pretty bad.
yeah, fuck this, I don't want to draft. Like you could just feel it off of him. So what is Liquid gonna do for the long term? If you want to relieve Mickey of the burdenship of drafting, somebody's got to step up to the plate.
That sounds like future problem. And at Team Liquid, we live in the present.
Don't you guys
no,
consider
we have
to
some
draft?
ideas and plans. We have some ideas and plans. It's just not ready to be public yet.
Okay.
The return of Draftsania.
Maybe, who knows?
I mean, it is a pretty interesting idea. Remember we talked about the what was it? Ducalis playing for, or wait, who was on the Dream League team that did really well with the Hawk? Chimera.
Panto?
Yeah, Panto, who was scrimming with other teams, and we talked about the idea of like, everybody on the team scrimming with some other teams and you all coming back together and having ideas. Like it is kind of interesting passing off the drafting leadership to whoever needs the motivation, whoever needs to lock in. It's an interesting
Yeah.
idea.
I mean,
I want to
ultimately, I
throw
think
some beef. You guys won because Pari wasn't there.
true.
True.
That's what my coach told me the entire event.
Because
Literally, like every day. Party isn't there, guys. This doesn't count.
Don't
Okay.
forget
like-
no pure goat, bro.
I
Pure Dota.
wanted to use this like just to change the topic to something that's on my mind.
There you go.
I think when we played finals against you guys were playing better than us, and then you guys were completely done, like completely mentally done. You guys could not press buttons. And I feel from outside, the next tournament, I watched Falcons Tundra. Falcons was winning 2-0. And then there's a point they cannot press buttons anymore. Do you feel Omega tired on the best of 5? Did you guys felt it?
I mean, in Thailand, we were all sick. That was the biggest
Okay.
problem. I think Nisha was really, really sick during the finals. And I think we played lower bracket in the morning, right? Yeah. So I think the Thailand final, I think we were like really, really drained. And I can't remember fully now, but I think
You guys had a lot of tight series, went to a game 3. It was kind of similar to your like TI 11.
Yeah,
where
I
you
can't-
had
I
to
can't
do a
really
lower bracket
remember.
run.
I remember the first game was the Rubik Spectre, and we won the first game. And then I think game 2.
Guess it was Monkey against Like on the second one. You guys were really ahead.
Ah,
and then-
yeah. I mean, I don't know if I think you guys were playing pretty darn well that event. To be honest, I mean, I think no one especially was like playing really, really well. And then I think you guys sniped us in the last game, if I'm not wrong.
Cause like
Uh,
my take is, I think like when you have best of 3 and then best of 5, after the third game of best of 5, it start getting sus. Like that's my feeling watching Dota 2 right now. And I don't know, it feels weird. Like the grand final is a sus match, cause people are just tired. That was my feeling. You know that like maybe if I played you guys a best of 5 that day, maybe we would still win, but maybe we win like 3-2, or you guys 3-2 us. You know, but since you
Yeah.
guys played in the morning, it's like game 2 you guys are playing well, then suddenly you guys making mistakes, then game 3 you guys don't play so good, and game 4 is like you didn't show to it. So it's I'm not flaming. I don't mean to
no. I
flame
mean,
with this.
I
mean to say,
agree.
like,
I agree.
I wish we had better finals on tournaments, but I feel like the understanding is like, oh, upper bracket final should be you are more rested. But I think it's creating the feeling that like the grand final game is kind of dog shit, like the 4th and 5th game. And I don't think like the advantage should be this. I think the advantage should be like you get like selection at map 5. You know, like you get one extra selection, one extra priority, something like this.
Yeah, I mean, I also feel like, to be honest, upper bracket advantage is too much right now. I mean, I played the last 2 TI finals from lower bracket, and I can tell you the one against Spirit, I have never been so emotionally drained in my entire life. I like could not. I just could not. And I mean, they were also like colossally good, but like you can see it. Like the game in that played the entire lower bracket run was not the same game in that played the final against Spirit, because we were clapping cheeks that whole TI, and then the final was just like it just wasn't it. And I honestly agree that I think you get a lot better show if you just made the lower bracket final the day before and you put the final on its own day, because being able to just like focus on one series, like two series in a day, like you can kind of do it if it's 2 best 3s. Like I mean, you have to for scheduling and such, but to push through 8 games is like, whoo, it's. I mean, I don't know, it's just hard.
You guys
I mean, I
also
can just
had
say
the-
for us.
Hmm.
Sorry, but I think I can say for us. I think the last, I mean, TI and this PGL event, I think we came from upper, and we played well in finals. And I think pretty much every other second place that we have is from lower bracket. I think there is like one grand final with gaming that we played from upper in a Dream League a long
Yeah,
time
it was
ago.
the Dream League one, yeah.
But that was like right after a patch, so I don't
That
even
was
know
the
if I was like.
psycho patch. That one
Yeah,
doesn't even.
yeah,
That
yeah,
was pure
That was
RNG.
the bots to Necrophos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The heck and Sven farming jungle camps or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think like in terms of like even our history with gaming, it's like pretty whoever won the like upper bracket final, like in most, I would imagine that most events ends up winning finals. I don't know if it's like the case when real teams are playing, like Extreme Gaming or Spirits, but like when us bots play, it just seems to be the case.
Yeah, because I was really curious to hear from you guys on this, because I have kind of strong opinion on this. I think you should expect the last game of the tournament to be the best game, like the last series, but it just feels everyone's tired. And I understand maybe in past it was better, but maybe now there's like so much also like show going on for the finals. Is like you need to arrive like 2 hours earlier. Maybe, I don't know, I didn't play TI1, but maybe TI1 you just show up and you play 8 matches and you're just playing 8 matches in a row, you don't care. But now it's like, I guess we need to show up at like 10 a.m. to play the lower bracket finals on Fisher. And then I saw like Tundra Falcons, they were playing till 10 p.m. So it's like 12 hours later. And it's not that you're like sitting at home. Maybe if you're sitting at home, you can actually make the 8 games. But you're in this land with like so much flashing lights into you is like spending 10 hours in a cinema. Like after 6 hours in the cinema, like you just want to die. You don't want to be there anymore. Like just want to move on. Like do some bad expression I use. Sorry guys, you can cut. But you just want to do anything else in your life. You don't want to be there anymore. And that's a weird feeling for grand finals. Yeah.
If I had to guess, it's probably there is less and less a difference skill wise and et cetera between the teams, that you take 5% off, just because you're fatigued going into the grand finals, then it just ends up being a massive difference because everybody is so good that taking 5% or 10% off a player or a team just ends up being a one-sided stomp as a result.
Yeah.
People were so bad back in the day. You get fake tie 5, 10, 15, 20% off. Nobody even noticed, like the TI3 grand final games are like the biggest clown fiesta ever. Like what is even happening in these games?
Yeah, I mean TI4 lower bracket and grand finals, that's like a total of like what, 3 hours of game time, like they were done nice and easy. So
they lose one tier 1, just call it. Tier 1's dead.
Those high ground
No, but
pushes
I mean,
by 20 minutes or something else.
It is kind of sad that we've had so many bad grand finals in Dota recently. I think that is like pretty fair to say, no? That a lot of these events have had like the grand finals are not the most exciting games, like almost ever. And maybe it is just the case that maybe some event is brave enough to try like grand finals on its own separate day, and you like double stack a different day instead.
Wait, I think didn't Blast have that, and we just got annihilated anyway.
Yeah, but okay. But Gaming Gladiators if Gaming Gladiators are in the finals is shit. It's just how it is. Either they steamroll, or they get steamrolled.
Reverse sweep. We had the reverse sweep.
When?
KL. We were up 2-0, and then we.
Oh
lost.
yeah. That was. I love that grand final.
I wanted to die, but
we lost in the morning, and then we went like out to eat and drink and like just forget about it because we lost to Azure and we felt that we should have beat them. And then I'm watching like on my phone because I have to like despair even harder. And I just see like Gaming Gladiators 1-0, Gaming Gladiators 2-0. I'm like, I've been there. I know what this is gonna be like. Put the phone down. Like I think you guys were even up in game 3 if I'm not wrong.
No, game 3 we're up like 8k at some point.
Yeah. And I just put my phone down and then I'm like, all right, well this is cooked. I've been down 8k in game 3 against Gaming. I know what it's like. And then someone's like, Azure won. They're like, whatever. It's just one game. It doesn't mean anything. They're gonna get cooked again. And then suddenly it was 2-2, and it was like at this point we're also quite tipsy, at this restaurant, and we're like everyone is like 20 people just sitting like this on their phones, like forget about the food, forget about the drinks. That was a hype final.
It was a hype final. One of the few.
But it was like the first time you guys bled. It was like the first time.
What do you mean? We bled like twice before that. We got clapped by Spirit 3-0, and we lost Riyadh at 4th place. What do you mean? We were bleeding all over the place. The room was filled with our blood.
That was the first time you
like,
bled to not Spirit. To not Spirit. Spirit doesn't count.
No, we lost to Talon at Riyadh.
But Talon were goated.
I see.
Okay. My statement is incorrect. I take it back. It was the first time China won in a long time. Let's go, China.
That's true. That's true.
Let's go.
China number one.
China number one.
You guys think China's coming back at all?
I mean, Extreme
And
will
then-
win at least one event this year.
Okay, in a small way, do you think that? Because I think I think Tidebound is like, I think they should have done better than they did at Wallachia. Like from scrims and also from their game quality, the way they lost to Aurora that wasn't it. They're better than that. And I think Extreme has the old classic roster back together, and that roster will always get top 8 minimum. They'll never win the tournament, but they will always get top 8 or top 6.
Wait,
And isn't there a
Aydin,
third Chinese team?
Aydin, I have a question.
Okay, the finals will be Nigma versus Extreme.
I
at
was
one
going
event this
to
year.
ask
I know,
you who
I
wins
know.
the tournament first, Nigma or Extreme?
Do I have to answer this question?
Yes, you do.
You're like making me pick between my two favorite teams.
Sophie's choice.
Okay, Extreme will probably win before Nigma does.
Oh my
Mm.
goodness. Miracle
Probably.
fans are
It hurt him.
absolutely
It hurt him.
beside
Yeah, but
themselves.
it's because Miracle is like not there right now.
Yeah,
Though
yeah,
Ghost has been popping off.
yeah.
Ghost has been owning. But for the sake of the meme, it's because Miracle isn't.
Okay. Astini, you think China's going to come back?
I don't think. I hope it comes back because again, like I'm always like, oh, I want to see Dota 2 grow more and more, and like
Mhm.
I miss when China was bigger in Dota 2. But I think Nigma will win the next Blast. It's like a tournament that I have the feeling they're gonna win.
I could see
I'm
it.
an
Single
Astini fan.
elimination, just make a
Bad
run
chance,
for it.
You know, like because I also, of course, I want to win all those tournaments, but I also get happy to see like if they win a tournament.
All right. We are running an hour and 20 minutes so far. I have a couple questions for Astini about like just general career stuff. Do you guys want to talk about anything else?
I want to hear the support thing you said.
So
Support thing?
What's
Like
support thing?
you rank the players or whatever?
Oh
with
yeah,
Avery?
yeah. What about it? You can watch the on the next episode of Not for Broadcast.
I don't want to watch Not for Broadcast.
You
Your
do
podcast
watch
sucks.
it. Don't lie
It
to
sucks.
me. Don't
It
lie to me. You do watch
sucks.
it.
I hate your podcast. It's so bad.
Okay.
Avery's the only good part about it.
I will tell you that Whitemon was the undisputed number one of
I
Five
agree.
Division.
I agree.
I think he is making an argument for one of the best players in the game right now, and being able to do that from the 5 position is pretty crazy. So
No,
undisputed
I've been
number one.
Whitemon fan for like no meme. Like when he
Whitemon's
was on
decent.
TSM, I was saying like this guy is goated. It's been a long time now, but like every LAN I met him, I always said like you're goated, and he would always laugh and like walk off
Mm.
and be like all shy. But he's really good.
Number
Who
2.
else did you put there?
So this is a power ranking for this season, not like an overall
Yeah,
expectation or anything like
sure,
that.
sure.
Number 2 is Maposhka. Those are pretty locked in, 1 and 2. And then it is you and Snaking. I think those
That's
are
kind of unfair.
uh,
Okay, the real position 5. If you're judging based on gameplay, it should go number 1. I think Whitemon. Number 2, Decalis.
okay.
And then I think in very recent history, I would put Panto number 3.
Sure.
Because I think
Very
all
recent.
the Boomer 5s, we have like other traits that are
Mhm.
very valuable for our teams and help us win. But in terms of like, if you're an up and coming guy and you're gonna watch someone's replays and try to learn from them, I think those are the 3 you're.
We both agreed that Ducalis was like a honorable mention, like number 5 on that list sort of deal. So I could definitely see him play wise being higher for sure.
Yeah, I think like the Boomers, we have our own traits, but I think those are. If you're gonna watch replays, watch those,
Mm.
which you can't anymore because.
Yeah,
haha.
good luck with that.
I'm
Yeah,
selling
look at the
Ducali's replays.
Alright,
Just, message
contact
me.
Astini for Decala's replays.
2 Immortals, or what are they called? Unusuals? What are they called? I can't remember.
Rares, I don't know what's the.
Did you guys rank
items
mids?
already.
Yeah, we did all the positions.
Okay, what were you? Go, run it.
Wait, this is not a
Okay, no,
we
you
can cut
gotta
this part
you
out.
gotta tell the mids. Don't tell the other roles. Just the mids. Just the mids.
Yeah, just we can cut the rest.
Okay.
Just cut this part. Just run it. Give it to me.
mids
I'm
were,
not waiting.
mids were the highest or sorry, we both agreed that mids were the hardest to rank.
How? It's so easy. Okay, do you want the real rankings?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Number 1 is Laurel.
Okay.
He's the king of mid right now.
Okay. I had him a number 2. I'll agree with that. Sure.
The thing is, okay, I will say I was gonna come on this podcast and say that I'm back to liking Falcons. It's over. Like that thing is over. But I will say Malrine so far this season has not been that impressive. I think.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I think he's been a little like compared to his own standard.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's I think how you have to rate people. Yeah, it's like compared to what they usually do, and I think Laurel's been like popping off.
Yes. Agreed.
I think no one number 2.
Okay.
And then I think my mid laner when he's like watched more than 3 replays that day.
Sure.
Yeah, that's my top 3.
All right. Quinn. I'm actually. I don't know why you're giving me your rankings. I was interested in from the 5 position, but like Quinn, give me your. Oh, by the way, Avery's gonna hate this because he watched the last episode of you doing the power ranking of our power rankings, and he was like, "You're just stealing content. Like, what is your problem?"
No, we share content.
Yeah, sharing content. All right, Quinn, give me yours since we're already on this list. You're the mid laner.
Thus far this year, yeah, I mean it's the same names. I don't know in what order exactly, but it's like Nisha, BZM, Laurel. I think, what the heck? I forget the. Oh yeah, no one and Nisha. I think, and then Malrine like like slightly below the others this year. I think.
Okay. I think that may be the problem being a commentator. I get limited. I get the games that I gain, the games that I see. So maybe I've just been
it's
watching
just
some good
Malrine
Malrine
was just
games.
unreal goated last year. He was like
Yeah.
he was the best player in the world, not just like the best mid player. And this year it's like it's not the same degree of dominance. Last year he was like solo killing everyone every game and
Yeah.
like just running every game over. It was heckin' ridiculous. But it's not like that
Yeah.
right now.
That's true. Maybe it's just lag from last year, and I still feel like Malrine's really good. Astini, how'd you end up on Entity? I actually don't know this story.
Okay, so I left Nouns
Mm-hmm.
because I did not want to work on a team with PPD. No way. There's no way I could handle that guy. Like we got top 8
Shocking.
at TI. He didn't do a single shit at the team. And then he's like, "Oh, I'm Nouns. I'm top 8." And then he started like dealing the cards at the team, and like I don't want to be there. And it felt like I was killing my career because I had nowhere to go, but I'd rather be anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And by that time, Jerax, I guess he's doing it now. Like he's offering like mental coaching, and I started doing it with him.
Mm-hmm.
He mentioned like, oh, I might. I guess he mentioned. Oh, I cannot say the team because maybe like their coach's still there. But he mentioned, oh, this team might look for a coach. Did you try with them? And I'm like, I think I'm too crazy, and I want to try my ideas. I'm just get 5 Brazilians that trust the ideas and do some weird shit. And then I did Midas Club. We were playing like tier 2 tournaments in SA. And then Entity reached out for me, and I said like, no way. I want to do my thing. I want to coach Brazilians. And then they reached out again. Oh wait, I just skipped the part where they reached to Jerax, and Jerax said, oh, there's this guy, Astini. That's why I mentioned Jerax. Till the day that I had to play a show match. Okay, I'm giving really long answer. And in this show match, my Brazilian carry was there. And I said, 15 minutes. Let's go 15 minutes at the mid wave and jump then on the catapult. I said this. And 10 seconds later, he's like, guys, tip it up, tip it up, tip it up. And then I, on that time, realized I need to leave this fucking region. Because I don't know, I've repeated the same thing for the guy 48 times this year. Go to the catawave mid. And then I'm inside the game telling him, and I'm like, it's not going to change. I need to go to Entity. That's how I end up at Entity. That night, I just messaged the guy at Entity, like, I'm sorry. I said, no, I'm actually ready. Let's do it. Yeah.
Nice. So that's pretty cool. Why did you go? If I can ask, like, what, like, so he does the mental coaching, right? From my understanding, what I looked at, it was mostly for competitors in like when they're playing the game, that sort of thing. What sort of mental coaching did you feel like you needed assistance with?
I needed to know like how to move on with my career. Like,
Mm.
if I was doing the right thing, if I should still try in Dota 2, like, how do I move on? You know, like, does it make sense to leave a team just because, like, I don't like a guy that's not even in the team, but he wants to be part in the team and he's, like, deciding everyone's salary? Should I, like, see everyone getting double payment and this guy getting 3 times the salary we were getting out of getting 0, and I stay the same salary just because I need a salary? Or should I just leave and get 0?
Mm.
And it was good. I think, like, he helped me take the best decisions. Like, for sure, he also, like, referred me to Entity when they looked for him. But I'm for sure glad for everything, like, I learned with him, and, like, he helped me take the right decisions. Maybe if it
Interesting.
wasn't for him, maybe I would be, like, still at Nouns because I needed the money. You know, like, it's hard to be a coach. I mean, it's really hard to be a pro player also. Like, pro player, you need to be practicing every day, as Queen mentioned. Like, you don't play for 2 days and you feel like you don't get it anymore. You need time to go back. But as a coach, like, how do I show that I know about the game?
Mm.
There's no way that I can show I know about the game. The only way I can is if I get into a team and then I get to do my work with them and the results will come. But if I don't have a team, like, what the fuck do I do to get a team? I'm not that good at networking. You see, like, I say everything that's on my mind. So I might flame people. I might, like, I burn bridges, you know? So it was a tough time. And he helped me a lot in this tough time.
Okay, jumping from that, did you want to I wanted to ask about the Cloud9 thing. I saw very recently somebody talked about how that Cloud9 roster, the organization gave you guys like 24 hours or something like that to say whether or not you wanted to be on the team. My understanding was is because they were shopping a different team at the same time.
Yeah, I read this. I feel bad because I think it's also partly my bad. Because, I don't know, it was a very weird situation, first of all. Because they hired us and there was just like 1 month contract more. And they paid a lot of money.
Mm.
I cannot disclose, I guess. I probably disclosed already in Portuguese like 10 times, hoping no one translated. But basically, like, they paid a lot of money for like 1 month. And during this 1 month, they tried to, like, sign first, like, they tried to sign Watson and Kataomi. And Kataomi is like, oh, I want to some time to see if I go bad. Boom. And then they try to just sign Watson. Watson's like, I don't know my future. Like, I want to be free. And then they tried to sign no one. And then no one said, like, sure, but I need someone else with me. And then DM said, I want Astini. And then it's like, us three, we're going to sign. And then they took too long to do the contract. And then it's like, TI is starting, and we're not going to sign right now a new contract. It makes no sense, because let's see what happens. And I think, like, for Cloud9 was important to keep a Dota 2, because their fame's like, oh, they're just going to leave the game. And I think they made real effort to still be in Dota 2. And part of this, like, I want to make sure we still have a lineup. It's like, TI, it can be like, I paid this amount of money, I have a lineup, and tomorrow I have no lineup. And it was something in a hurry. And, like, conclusion is like, oh, we need to have this lineup ready, I don't know, in 3-4 days, something like this. And this was kind of the overall conclusion. And I think it's my bad to jump in the conclusion, like, either we have something now or we don't. And then it became this thing, so, Astini, please give me a lineup till midnight, you know, like, if you want to be here.
Mm.
And yeah, it was really rough. I don't know if there's someone to blame, but I kind of blame myself, because I think, like, if I wasn't too anxious with all this, like, do it right now, you know, like, I could have handled the situation, maybe, like, convince Cloud9 to give us more time, maybe, I don't know, talk one-on-one with other players. But I feel it was kind of weird situation. Like, shuffles for me are weird. I don't know how to deal so well. So yeah, it's true what Watson said. And, like, I think by midnight we kind of had a lineup on Cloud9. We kind of had, like, lineups 4 times. When I say we, it's because, like, I would be the coach for some time. Till we didn't.
Mm.
And then I went to party because, like, my idea from beginning is, like, I want to be with DM. That was my idea on the shuffle.
Why?
Because, like, because DM said he want to be with me, and actually said like I want to be with DM, I want to be with no one, and I want to be with Watson. I said to the three, and I said like mostly I want to be with Watson. If I would like the guy that I want to be like 9 out of 10 is Watson, DM maybe 8 out of 10, no one maybe 7 out of 10. But I mean, when I say this, like I really want to be with the guys, but it's like comparing because we were all like true to each other to like everyone know how you feel about the shuffle. So like you don't betray someone. Like, oh, I want to make a team with you, and like tomorrow I'm going to another team. So we just open up like everything that's happening. And like my experience at this lineup was like the easiest player to work with was Watson. But like it was amazing to work with DM and O1, also really amazing. So I definitely wanted to be with them. But DM said the same to me, like I want to be with you. But no one then said like, I want to take some time. Let's see what's out there, you know. But then like all the word turns on like after I don't know 2 weeks we end up together. It was really good. We're doing really well. I'm happy we have this lineup. But like it's the rumors that like it would be us plus nouns. It kind of like it's what kind of happened till midnight on that day. It would be like me DM plus nouns without Gunner, which then people's like, oh, so Astini had a beef with Gunner, which is a guy like I also love him. But it's like I'm with DM, I need 4 players, and then it's like who I'm reaching out, like Kataomi not available. He says like I cannot give any answer now, and then I'm go to Lalis, and Lalis like, I have these other guys, like I have a full lineup without organization, like but I have an offline, and then we talk with the entire nouns, and I'm actually happy it didn't happen because then I didn't fuck up their lineup, which I really liked everyone there, and even the manager. Like I was really friends with the manager, and this would mean now's manager would have no job, and I was really sad. I was really sad that day, really sad that night. I don't know, it felt so bad. I don't want to go through a shuffle like this. I would like just skip after party and like maybe I get lucky and get a team because it was painful. I was feeling anxious all the time with this like you need a lineup, like figure something out. It's like time like the clock's ticking, you know, like do something by midnight, like or do something by next 2-3 days. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm actually glad how things end up. I'm really happy that given like all the possibilities, that's the possibility we end up with.
So what was so great about Watson? You said he was easy to coach. Quinn, is he just like somebody who just sucks up information and just
I
Yeah, I think he's. I mean, sorry, did you say
sorry,
me or
said
did you
Queen.
say Astini?
yeah, I was
Oh,
wondering
sorry.
what Quinn's perspective was,
Okay.
and then
Yes, my bad, my bad.
you're good. You're good.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's like he's super open to information. Like he's a really nice guy, and he like if like he has ideas and stuff, but if other people have ideas, like and you explain it, he'll just do the thing. And he'll play pubs, he'll play whatever heroes. Like he's just generally just like a very amiable guy who will do what you ask him to do, and he'll do it really well. He's very very high skill. Um, so he'll just do the thing and he'll do it super well. Like he learns really really fast. Maybe one of the fastest learning players I've ever played with. Um, I can feel it a lot in these past months where we've actually been becoming over time slightly less dumpster. Like I can feel how good he is. Now that the rest of us aren't like dragging him down so much, and I can feel how fast he learns.
Kind of back up what you liked about him, Astini.
Yes, he learns really, really fast. I felt like he was the guy that was most absorbing what I was saying. Like he and DM, I'd say on the sense like I joined the team, I told few things and like, but DM he was all the time saying yes, yes, I'll do. And Watson he was full quiet, and I'm like, how it's gonna work with this guy? He's full quiet. He's not even paying attention. And then goes to the game and like Watson starts like shot calling with the same word I used. You know, like I'm like, this guy's like actually like really smart, really paying attention to things and really like respecting and trying his best in the sense. I'm not saying that the others did not like, but he,
Sure.
as Queen said, he did really fast.
All right, I got one last question. Then your new player, what's it like working with him? Because I think a lot of people are interested in Satanic. Obviously, he's being held as this like phenom at Dota. So, what's it like coaching him?
Mm, Let me think what I can say. First, it's really good because this guy is so talented. He's so good. He 1v9s some games. That's really good. And I think it was actually like a process where at the beginning it's like we just won this tournament. We want you to do this, and it wasn't working so well. And then we realized like we can't just be like that, like throw at him the info and expect him to come full at us. You know, like now we realize he needs to come like 70% to us and we need to come 30% to him. So now things are really good. Really, really good. But I can say like at the beginning it was tough. That's why I took some time to answer. Because beginning was kind of rough. I feel like so many people telling him to do the things and same thing and over, and feels like I don't know why it's not working or he's not trying or it's not. He was trying, but it's just like not his play style, you know. So I feel like we were forcing too much, something that was not his play style, and doesn't mean that there's this only way to play Dota 2. And then we realized like, guys, why are we making our like TA TB player play gyro first pick? Maybe that's not a thing, you know. Maybe he will play some gyro if they zoom, you know, like, but let's pick his hero a bit later. Let's do a few things different. And I feel like when we change approach, it's being pretty good. And we're having a lot of fun, and like we feel like we are a really strong team. Maybe we lost the last tournaments, but I never felt in my life that I had like such a strong team. Because I don't know, it's weird because something people take out of context. Like, but I'll say like last tournament, it felt like we were the best team when I'm watching my team playing. We did not win the tournament. I'm not saying, oh, we should have won. Oh, no, the game is played, and we got third place. So in this tournament, we got third place. But we got third place, and I'm feeling like, oh, we are the best team here. We just need to fix this one, two small things. And when we won the Bangkok, I feel like we won a tournament where we were the third best team in the tournament. And I'm not saying this like because Crystallis, like Crystallis, maybe he was the best carry that tournament, and which made us actually win the tournament without being the best team. But I feel like that tournament actually not even Liquid was top 3 team. They were on finals, but like they beat Falcons, which in my opinion was a top 3 team, and they beat in like 70 minutes game. So that's like how one of the top 3 teams, which I think was top 2, was Falcons. And I think Bad Boom was by far the best team in the tournament, by far. But they just full tilt on that finals. They full tilt. I don't know. They forgot how they play the game. I would pay not only for replays, but the pay-per-view of that team. Like if they have a vlog, if they show what happened, because it must be so fun to watch. Because if you watch like this ESL unmuted, like I don't know, but I guess there was like meteors falling on that team because they went to like from being like the best in the tournament to in the same series like being the most bad team. So it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are looking forward to that unmuted for that tournament. That's for sure.
That's they were against us. That's the series.
Wait, say that again. You cut out a little bit.
Your mic's cutting out.
Oh, sorry. Was that the series against us you're thinking of? When Batman played against us?
Yes, but like they tilted against like
they tilted against Pari Vision too.
Yeah,
like,
they won game
They should have won that upper bracket final, in my opinion.
Yeah,
watching it, and I was just like, this team just crumbled. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And they did the same thing against us the next day. It was like the exact same experience. They should have 2-0'd us super easy.
I don't know. I guess game 2, they were something like I would just guess they were maybe like 15 to 20k ahead. And like Lina tried to solo kill Razor like by
on bot lane outside your base.
and then he dies, and it feels like there the tournament's over. Like someone shut down their PCs. Guys, it's over. Go home. We're not playing this anymore. I don't know. It was really weird how they went like from being the best to being the worst so fast. But yeah, that's my feeling. I feel like it's a good feeling to feel like you can win tournaments. It's not like, oh, I'm the best. The other ones are so bad. It's like I feel so good being on this team. The thing like we talked at the beginning, like when you feel there's a player that he don't wanna be there, he don't want to be playing. When you don't have this feeling, it's so fucking good. which, by the way, we already had with Raincoat. Don't take it wrong. Crystallis, amazing player, and atmosphere of the team was perfect. Everything amazing. Don't take this as like before it was bad. It was also amazing. So yeah, I have this amazing feeling. Like I like my work now. You know, like oh, there's a tournament. I'm actually happy to attend the tournament. Sometimes you're like, I need to show up with this asshole again. You know, like, and it's good not to have this feeling.
All right. Well, glad to hear it. That's it for me. You guys got anything else you want to talk about? Anything you want to ask?
I'm curious about one thing, because you're on a like full Eastern European. How is like the language barrier? Because I imagine like it's not English isn't first language for anyone. How does that work?
So it began an entity that when I start coaching, they said we're gonna talk in English so you understand. When I start coaching, we're gonna start playing in English so you understand. And they did this for like 10 days. It was online, and then we went to boot camp. They started talking Russian, and they started playing really bad. And I could understand what was going on, and I had this impression that they were playing better in English, and the language actually made a difference. And when I just throw this comment randomly, it was like Kataomi and DM, and like Kataomi is like, the problem is I think you're right. And DM insta said, I wanna play in English. I hate this like talking Russian. Everyone is so tilted. He's like, you wanna hear? I am toxic in Russian. I don't wanna speak Russian. And like I've been playing English in OG. Let's go English, please. I don't wanna be toxic anymore. Let's go back to being nice guys, you know? And then they went ahead and spoke like maybe 80% English, 20% Russian. And then at party, even with Renko in the team, I'd say they were speaking like 70% English, 30% Russian still, even with him in the game. Like, good luck figuring out. And then Satanic joined. The team went to full Russian. And when we lost 2-0 to Spirit at Dream League, I guess it was group stage 1, end of the day, Ducali said, I'm done speaking this Russian language. You know, guys, I want to speak English. We are way better in English. And he told this to me first, and then he comes to the team. I just talked with Astini. We speak in English now. And I say, like, again, guys, I'm not the guy that comes and tell, please speak in English. It's the position 5 that was not an entity. And he got the conclusion. I swear it's his conclusion. And then we went to talk in English, and then like we won every match on the second group stage. So I feel like we do better in English. I just think like for some
That's
reason
so interesting.
This is
They are-
I'm like I've
That's-
never
that's-
heard anything
that's
like this.
fascinating.
No,
yeah.
I mean, I've
Yeah,
heard
it-
something
it
about like
truly is.
people do talk about how they feel like they have a different personality when they speak other languages, right?
Yeah, I
I've
mean,
heard that,
I
so I
speak
can see
3
how that would
languages.
affect a team dynamic.
I mean, I speak 3 languages pretty fluently,
Hmm.
but I cannot imagine like not wanting to speak the language I'm the most comfortable, and then that makes me perform it. I have a very like to me this is super interesting.
Mm.
Maybe it's just like you can't be as toxic in English, so you're just the nicer dude to play with, you know.
and like it's
That's kind of
interesting
funny.
because when we made a change, like one of the biggest pros, like, oh, now I have Satanic, so there are 5 guys actually speaking Russian with each other all the time during game. Things are more fluent. And I was just thinking in my mind, like, I've seen this happen already, you know, like, let's see where it goes. And then, like, it's just like, guys, the language change did something to us. Let's go back to English. It was working better. And I remember at Entity, when we mentioned about the change, no one said something like, I don't know about this English thing, because sometimes if I think something in English, will take like 30 seconds, 1 minute to say. And in Russian, I can just say like in 5 seconds. In English, it will take 100 words. And the guy said, yeah, those are the things you should not say at all. And then he's like, oh, but I like to say it. Yeah, you shouldn't. You know, like those are just things that like you get maybe like from ranked matchmaking, saying some things in Russian, just like maybe there's like some flaming, some toxicity that they realize it comes with like the speaking the native language. And in English, you're just like more objective. Like you cannot make like such a long statement because it's not like our native language. So you try to be shorter, and then maybe you're just clear on what you want to do. You know, like
Interesting.
making this like I call mental masturbations. Like you're talking like 1 minute about a thing that you should like. Oh, if this guy does this, this, and that. Oh, can the Bristol die? And everyone in the game is like, can we kill Bristol? If we Silver Edge, and if we do this, and if we, and then they're saying all the ifs, and 2 guys just randomly die on the map, and you never get to fight against this Bristol because you're just doing the mental masturbation. How do I kill Bristol? And you forget totally about the game. You get distracted and you die. So it's like you need to be more direct to the point, more objective. And I think this, for us right now, English is helping. Maybe we're just gonna realize, guys, now we're doing well. We can try to go back to Russian because maybe like if you like using less brain power to communicate, you can use more brain power on clicking. I don't know. We can take different conclusions because it was one of the points like, oh, satanic, full Russian. And then it would be harder for me, right, to understand the communication and to give input. But I can tell, I have the feeling I understand like 95% of what they say in game when they were playing Russian, and maybe 60% outside the game. Because Dota 2 is kind of like Dota 2. You understand what they are talking about. Maybe I miss like the 5% of like the flames, you know. But like what they want to achieve in game, I can actually get when they were doing Russian.
Have you picked up much Russian actually learning the language at all? Just through being on the team, being around the players?
Yes, I think I have like a decent understanding level, like really decent. Like if I would go to Russia, I would understand like what people talking about, what they doing. But I kind of cannot speak at all. I'd say like I
Sure.
can speak 5 or 6 like made up sentences and say something funny, and like probably like yeah, if I use all my words I know in Russia, people would like just punch my face all the time because it's just like the slurs and like the bad things, and because that's what you learn first, right? You learn first like how to swear and like. But yeah, I want to learn. I like learning languages. I speak Portuguese, English, German, Spanish. So would be one more language.
Dang.
All right, cool. Anything else? All right, we're good. Thank you for watching another episode of All Chat. Yeah.
Sorry, are we cool, Astini? Beef over?
We're cool.
Are we like on the next fight card? Should we do like for the so he can put it on the there you go.
You know what's funny?
That's for your cap.
You guys are top. You guys, it's
wait. He's there for me.
Yeah,
for
I
me,
know. But where
they need
I
to face like this.
Where I arranged it on the overlay, Aydin,
so you are
no, you are above Astini. Astini is.
Oh, I'm punching down.
Yeah, you're punching down.
I don't know. I'm looking just at this guy because I have cap, Aydin. Wait,
I see.
Aydin.
All right.
But fun fact, before like Aydin is one of the guys that like most inspire me in like to really trying to be a coach and to be in Dota 2.
How so?
It's like I was living in Europe. I was working there, not with Dota 2. I was also working with Dota to like create an in-house league and a team, but I was just enthusiast and I was attending tournaments. And I went to, I guess it was Katowice, and that's where I already had met him in Dota Pit, and he was really nice to me. And there, I had like some crazy ideas, and I want to talk with the pros, you know, like I'm just this enthusiast about the game. I'm like, oh, you know this thing, you know this thing. Like I'm coaching like tier 3 team NSA, and I'm like, bro, I think teams should not defend the safe lane. I think defending the safe lane is bad. And I would say this to pros, and they're like, sure, fuck you. And then this guy, like on a bar, we were on a bar in Poland, and he actually stops what he's doing. Is like, oh, interesting idea. Let me answer to you. And I don't recall correctly. In my mind, he probably just got the phone, but in my mind, he took a napkin and made the map. But probably it was just the phone and opened the map and started showing things like, oh, you have this angle, you have this angle, you can do this on the safe lane, you can attack from here, you can do this. So yeah, you have a point. And I'm like, holy shit, oh, the guy's actually listening to my ideas. Maybe I'm not that crazy, you know? It was really nice.
Aydin, do you remember that?
I really cared at some point, huh? Didn't I?
And you know, like I
remember this. It was I think It was like the original Beast Coast roster that was also there this night. It was
This
like
was
we were at. It was a minor, I think. We were
this
Dota
was
Pit in
Dota Pit.
Croatia. Yeah, that was
This
in
was Dota Pit.
Croatia. And yeah, I remember this. I remember. I don't remember the conversation, but I do remember like that's where we met originally.
And then the problem is, like, I saw him in Croatia, then I saw him in Poland. And in Poland, he's like, "Oh, I want to make to TI. I want to make to TI." You know, like he was still like, I don't know, maybe like top 16, something like this. And the issue is, that's the problem. I have like really strong memory to the things, and it keeps like. Next time I see him is in a hotel in Shanghai. I meet him. The first thing I say is like, "Oh, congrats for TI." He looks at me and he says, "Are you fucking kidding me, bro? You didn't watch the games?" It was just after the gyrocopter incident.
Oh no!
But in my mind,
Unlucky.
it's like, oh, I just saw this guy like in Poland. He wanted to be a TI, and now I'm so excited that he's a TI. And in his mind, I just got eliminated from this shit. Like this gyrocopter, this guy saying congrats, like fuck you. Yeah.
That's funny.
I don't remember that part, so that's all
That's
good.
really funny.
That's good.
really funny.
I shouldn't have mentioned. Now you remember.
When he talked to you about his about your Dota ideas, did he happen to bring up Alienware or did he try and sell you any sponsorship during that conversation or?
Bro, why do you have the box there? That's crazy.
Dude, Liquid's got to give us a cut at some point in time. This is absurd. All right. Thank you for watching, everybody. Another episode of All Chat. Thank you, Astini, for coming on. You got a lot of great stuff to say, and we got a really, really long episode out of it. So people are going to be pretty happy with that. So thank you.
All right, cool. I have a game in 9 hours.
Okay. Good luck.
Thank you.
on.
Good
Bad
night.
Venomancer.
Yeah, I think we
Ban
might.
Venno. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Boxy might be. I might have like.
Bro,
guys-
if everyone does this, they're like, I'm
No,
gonna play
no,
against
no.
Venno, and they
No,
lose,
no.
and then they ban Venno.
Boxy's gonna jungle Huskar against something. Watch.
Bro, it's
It might
actually
happen.
the Bulldog Furion meme. You do not you do not ban Furion because you can beat it.
Yeah.
You lose because you're an idiot. You ban Furion because you're not an idiot.
That's what you think, but Boxy is like he's gonna be like. I just played it wrong. Run it back.
I'm gonna wait. Release this episode after you guys play, so
Okay,
so I
then
can see
let me
what
record.
happens.
Then let's record 2 different responses you can add.
Okay.
I told you guys, Boxy is the biggest genius of all time.